is, let's see, the best way to say it is the history loosely told through song and dance and narration. And it is the history of Chautauqua County. So it's like Fort Griffin, like the name, literally the fort, just north of Albany. And then it kind of it talks the progression from Indians to when the fort was built and settlers, and then moving to, then the progression of the Indians being moved to their reservations, and then Albany being established. And that's pretty much the basis of our show. And we do it through song and dance. And we have cute little songs like this one I said, the 7 years with the wrong man. And the town is extremely involved. There's about 300 cast, and the cast is not paid. It is all volunteer. So year to year, we're always curious who's going to come to show up to practice, and we really encourage newcomers to come, especially people who live in Albany, because we have quite a turnover of people that move to Albany, and we really encourage them to come and be in our show. It's a good way to meet people too, especially with the kids, because we have little square dancers, and we have little Indian kids like this. If you don't have been to the show, this is a prairie dog kid.
Big prairie dog.
Well, yeah, what they do is the little kids, the little girls, and they're so cute in their little Indian outfits. The little girls are our prairie flowers, and they have little flowers, and they kind of, show how the prairie flows, and it's really cute. And then the little boys come out in their little Indian outfits, and they are the Indians of the prairie. So we have the prairie dogs. They have, this is way too small for my head, but they just stick this on the head, and here are their little eye holes. And they run around, and they little digs, so cute. And they're the crowd pleasers. I mean, when they come out, everyone just, because they're just so cute. And there's about 12 of them usually. And then we have like jackrabbits and rattlesnakes, and the armadillo is my personal favorite because they just have a little armadillo head, and they took, I forget what the rug is, but those little area rugs that are kind of wound up, they paint it because it looks like an armadillo. And they put it on his back, and he's all, it's so cute. And so, they come around, and so
the
then,
braided rug, is that what you're talking about?
yeah, the braided rug, and that's his little back. So it's so cute. And so then they all scurry off, and then they take these costumes off, and then we do the Indian scene. And so it's a lot of fun. And then almost everyone has at least 2 to 3 changes. And everyone, you can be as involved as you want to be. Like I actually am the secretary for the Fandangle, so I sell tickets. If you call, I'm the one that's going to sell you tickets. And then for the show itself, last year I was a prairie girl, and I was a saloon girl. My saloon dress with their little petticoats underneath. Especially because I'm too old for that. That's college girls get to have a little fun can dancing. So, is anyone familiar with the show Texas up in the Panhandle? We actually, the Fandangle, Robert Nail, who actually started the Fandangle, helped them stage their show way back when. And we opened Texas with a Fandangle sampler. They asked us to come and do that. So it's pretty cool. We got started in 1938, so we've been around a while, just a little bit. So we've been around since 1938. We started as actually a senior project. They came to him, to Robert Nail. He was a teacher at high school, and the senior class came to him and said, "We want you to write us a play for a fundraiser." They were raising money for their senior trip. So he wrote them a little play called Dr. Shackford's Paradise. It was a short play, and they did it, and it was a huge success, huge. So the Albany Chamber of Commerce came to him and said, you have to do it again. Because people are like, I missed it, I want to see it. So he wrote more to the play, and they moved it onto the football stadium, correct? To the football stadium. And that's where they did it for quite a while. And it was just hugely popular, hugely. And then it got moved after we did Texas. One of our locals said, oh my gosh, we can do this. We can do this in an amphitheater. We've got this. So they went out to one of his ranch, and they kind of carved out a little amphitheater, and that's where they started doing it. And then some land was given, or leased out, and where it is today, and they've carved it out, and it's literally in a hillside. The seats are in the hillside, and it's prairie behind you. It's just it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful, and it's just a lot of fun. It's changed. The show changes every year. Every year, it's not always the same. There's basics like the Indians and the cowboys and the all the fun showy stuff, but it changes. So it's always fun to come see it every year because you never know what's going to happen because there's a theme every year. This year's theme is the 140th birthday of Albany. So we're going to kind of intermix that into our theme. So, and I don't know if y'all know this, but out at Fort Griffin, we have the state longhorn herd. The official state longhorn herd is out at Fort Griffin. And they graciously allow us to use them in our show. And it is a show stopper. It is, I've seen people literally jump out of their seat because they're scared because it's amazing. Like I said, it's prairie. So they drive these longhorns down this hill. And some of these longhorns have done it their entire life. So they know where they're supposed to stop. They know their cues. It's great. And they pose. Oh my gosh, do they pose for pictures? It is so much fun. So they come down, and we've actually had a couple come up to the stadium, but that's really rare, and we've rocked it up, so it's kind of hard for them to get up. But they're like from me to this gentleman in the black jacket. If you're in the front row, that's how close you are to them. And then they're just magnificent. And several of them are in their teens and 20s. So, their horns are just, you don't see that. You just don't see beautiful, majestic animals like that. So it's a lot of fun. And they sing this beautiful song called Cowboys Prayer. No, the prayer, yes. And there's this one word that he says, and it's the cue to leave. And there's like 3 of them that they know the cue. And they lead. The Cowboys don't even have to urge them. They just do it themselves. It's so cool. So,
What is the word?
When it's time to leave. It's
When it's my time to go.
Oh, is it when my time to go? Okay. So, anyway, trying to think, kind of been rattling on for a minute, sorry. So, we also have a calliope. Calliope is like what they have at like the circus, the steam piano organ. And the calliope is the only instrument that has to be inspected every year before it is allowed to be played, which I think is really cool. And ours was built in the 50s. Check my notes here. And my great-grandfather helped with it. So I think it's very cool, you get a little personal touch here. And I'm 3rd generation office and in the show. My grandmother was the office secretary, and she sold tickets. My mother sold tickets when she was in high school, and now I sell tickets, which I think it's just really cool. And then my grandfather was the conductor. I don't know what his title is. I guess he was the conductor of the train. We have a cool little train set up. And so it's, and this year, or last year, we had 5 generations at one point. It was very cool. that's how people are just so involved and really appreciate the history of our show. Does anybody have any questions?
Our kids went last year.
Okay.
And they loved it. They
Oh,
just
good,
loved it.
good. Well, it's fun, and, like, I don't sing, I probably could break glass. So I'm just background, they know not to put me near my microphone, so, you know, a lot of people just like to be there, and it's just fun. A lot of people do it for the camaraderie and just to be with people, and it's a social event for us. We do our things, a lot of us know what we're supposed to do, and then we walk off and, have little conversations with each other, and then we go back, gotta go back on, so it's fun. So, does anybody have any questions?
What does it cost to attend?
Our basic tickets, is $15. We have, box seats. We have box seats, and they're $20 a seat. And our boxes are 4, 6, and 8. So,
You have to buy the whole box.
you have to buy the whole box, yes. So, we do have a few people that want a box bigger than what they need so they can spread out a little bit. And the way we sell tickets, it's by the seat, by the physical seat, not by the person. So we have a lot of people that bring little kids and like 2-year-olds. 2-year-olds cannot sit still. So a lot of people don't buy a ticket for a 2-year-old because they can sit in their lap and they get up, because kids can't sit still, especially that young. So our show is, like I said, it changes every year, so it could be anywhere from an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. We try to limit it to 2 hours. So we have an intermission, but it's literally, you stand up, stretch in, you sit back down. That's pretty much our intermission because we have a lot to tell you, so we have to get going. And it's really just more of our intermission is set change, because we have a really big, dangerous step that comes in, and so we want to get that all taken care of. And so, but it's a lot of fun. And like I was saying, some of these costumes are really old. Like this costume in particular was worn in the first summer show, not the original Dr. Shackford's Paradise. This was worn in the original for Griffin Fandangle, the first show in 38, 1938, in July of 38. And it's just beautiful. And it was worn several more times after that, but it's so delicate now, we don't allow it in the show. It would fall apart. So, but see, these tags tell us who wore it. And this particular woman who wore this dress became our director later. And she was fabulous. She was our local dance teacher. And she then became our director. She did a fabulous job. And she did it till she passed away.
Tiny little thing.
Oh, well, she was a freshman in high school. So I wish I was that tiny when I was a freshman.
Yeah, any other.
So like this particular outfit is a side saddler dress. So we have horses in our show. That's one of the big differences between us and Texas, is we have horses, we have buggies, we have stagecoach. We have lots of animals in our show. Like we have the longhorns, like I said too. So this is actually worn by one particular woman. She's worn it quite a while. She's one of our locals. She also does the barbecue for the show. Teresa, she owns Prairie Star in our town, and so this is her side saddler dress, and it's just beautiful. And it's so well made. It's just, we don't just slap these together.
What is the brand on it?
Oh, it was laid by Mogul.
What is the brand?
Oh,
That's
it's
a
just
spade.
I don't know.
I'm not on the spade branch, it's pretty similar to the spade.
Oh, I guess that is. They have a little more point to it if it would be the spade.
No,
It's
the
a
spade,
square bottom.
the spade.
Oh, is it? I thought it
Symbol
was,
is like
oh,
that, yeah.
okay. Well, I just figured it was a little
And it's not-
Decoration.
decoration. So then, Back in the 1800s, one of the real popular, like, books was Godey's Ladies Book, and it was, it kind of shows you the high fashion of the East. And so this was one of the dresses that they kind of made, and we have a little segment where they show a lot of the dresses. So this is one of the ladies' dresses. And we've also used this in other shows for other things because it's so fancy. It's just, I mean, it's so elaborate. I mean, there's so much work. In this show, this is velvet. Now remember, this show is at the end of June. Can you imagine wearing this or this? I mean, now, like I said, a lot of our segments are only 5 minutes, you know, so put it on. And then
Long 5 minutes.
then you literally have to peel this stuff off because, I mean, you know, you're just hotter than me.
Maybe they should change the show to the spring or fall.
Well, but, you know, this is when everyone, because the practices start, you know, our practice start early. Like, the first time this dress was worn in 1957. That is how old this dress is. And it probably has had barely much really done to fix it because, you know, like I said, it's just worn for 5 minutes, 6 times a year, and then back we have a train car that holds all of our costumes. So, and then this is the children's, one of the children costumes from the Godey's book, which is so cute. This little girl, isn't that cute? This is so precious. And this is the little boys, and he wears little, you know, little white socks and the knickers. Because here's his little knickers, and they hold hands in the little segment. It's so cute, very cute. And he used to have a hat, but I think somehow it got lost. So, and like this is my saloon girl dress. And we have to wear little hats and our little gloves. Thank goodness we have these gloves because we used to have to wear satin gloves. Ooh, those are hot. So, and then here is, well, you know, we are Fort Griffin, so we have to have soldiers. So here's our little soldier costume. And they wear these, and they wear like jeans, and then it has a yellow stripe going up the side. So, does anybody have any questions, or would y'all like to come up and look at the costumes? We'd love for you to come look at them. Yes.
I understand you have a sampler program?
Yes, the sampler is the April the 19th. And it's gonna be it's gonna be in town, and it's going to be at the Bank Park, or what we call the Bank Park. It's where a magnificent rock fountain is. That's our Bank Park. It's right in town, right next to the Chamber of Commerce. It's at the Ticket House. And the Picket House actually was a pioneer house out in the country on a ranch, and it was brought into town. And it's very authentic. I mean, it's really cool. I think they even brought stones to mimic the, because you know, way back then, they did stone fencing. And there's still old stone fencing out on the Lamb's Head. So, but it is, it's the 19th, still working on the time, but it'll loosely be around 6 o'clock. You don't have to pay to come to the sampler, but if you'd like to eat, because we usually do a dinner, the dinner will, I don't want to tell you the wrong price, sorry. We haven't finalized the price on the dinner, but the dinner is usually not more than $20. It's usually between 10 and 20, but it'll be barbecue this year. We're doing barbecue, so.
Is this going to be catered by the Prairie Stars?
Yes, the Prairie Star is going to cater it.
Very good.
Yes, it's fabulous. She does a wonderful job. So, but we'll have it in the paper, and it'll also be on our website, which is on, our website is on here. It's fortgriffinfandangle.org. We definitely know what time the sampler is and the price of the dinner and everything. We will have it posted on our website. Fandangle.org.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry I don't have more information. We're still working hammering out those last details. So, yes, ma'am.
Will that be open to the general public?
Yes, in the past, we do like what we call membership. We have a membership. And normally the sampler is for the membership to kind of give them, it's like a 30-minute show of what the show's gonna be like this year. And so the members can see what they've invested in. And, but this year, we're kind of open it to the public. And so we're gonna have a little private, cocktail hour before the show for our members. And then we invite whoever would like to come to just sit and watch the show. And like I said, if you want to eat, that's where you would pay to eat.
And you do that when you get there? Or do
Yes.
you make reservations too? ahead of time?
You can make reservations. We
We'll
would
watch
prefer,
for you.
we prefer you make reservations so we can have the right amount of food. Yeah, but we'll have plenty of chairs. Yes, ma'am.
Does a local seamstress do all of your costumes or?
Yes. Over the years, I just uncovered a photo the other day because I'm kind of cleaning out things. There literally was a room about this big of sewers when they were making dresses. And we have an amazing archive at our art museum in Albany. And we have these amazing sketches of all the costumes that were originally designed by Alice Reynolds, who is also an amazing painter. But she also helped Robert Nail put the show together and do the costumes. She was pretty much who designed most of our costumes, but he designed a lot of our costumes too. So he had quite the theater background because he was in New York for quite a while before he moved back to Albany. That whole family, the whole Nail family is extremely artistic and theatrical. So, yes.
About how many people come each gym for the performance?
Oh.
Roughly.
Well, we can seat about 1,600. So, at every show. So, we used to do standing room only and way up high, but snakes are so bad, we can't guarantee snake, so we don't do that up high where you can bring your own quilts and stuff. So, we stay with the seats where it's good and safe. So,
You know, is it just, the show, or are there like little booths and stuff?
oh, well, what we do is in town, we have vendors who come actually at the bank park where the sampler's gonna be. We have vendors who come and like sell whatever, we have crafters, we have, let's see, last year we had a woodworker, we had several books that were written about different Western things. We do have a parade. We have an amazing parade. It's going to be the 21st, Saturday, June 21st, and it'll be at 5:30. And it usually runs between 30 to 45 minutes.
And then Fandangle is that night.
And then Fandangle's that night at 8:45. We like to say 8:30. The show really starts on the dot, 8:45. But we really want people there and in their seat by 8:30, just because that way there's not people walking in front of you when the show starts. Because, the show starts off with a bang. Because we have what we call our flag parade, and it's horses running and crossing.
Wow.
And
There we go.
yes, exactly. And, my mother, who has seen it and been in it several times, you can't sit next to her because she grabs your leg. She's like, because it's just like, phew, it's close a few times, but it's really fun. It just gets you started. It just jumps off with a bang, yes.
Do they use the Hardin Simmons six-way horses, or they?
In the parade, in our parade on the 21st, we do, but in the show, no, we use local cowboys.
Yeah,
And-
other trained horses.
Well, and we have what we call our Fandangle flags. So we have, this is our official Fandangle flag on the back of our brochure. And then we do our American flag and our Texas flag. And then we have these cute flags that the rest of them carry, which is like, there's a skunk on one and a rattlesnake and I believe a deer and just several animals. And it's very funny, a lot of these flag carriers, they are very specific of what flag they want to carry. I mean, it's their flag every year, so it's a lot of fun.
Is it, difficult to get lodging there that weekend, or do you just need to book way ahead of time?
What I say is, as soon as you get your tickets, you should go ahead and get your room. Mhm.
Are there camping grounds?
Yes, we have in-town RV hookups. I really recommend staying out at the fort. Out at the fort, it's 15 minutes just north of town. The show is literally a minute from our only
You need
stoplight.
to stay at the fort in an RV?
Yes, you can stay at the
There's an
fort
RV park out
campground.
there?
Yes, there's an RV campground out there, and there's even longhorns there, because they have 200 head of longhorns out there, and it's beautiful, and they have full hookup. They have electricity, sewer, water.
So where do you find, I guess if you go on the website, it'll talk about that.
Yes,
Fort Griffin.
I used to know that. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I normally know that number off the top of my head. I can't think of it. I'm
It's a good
sorry.
time to do that.
Does anybody else have any questions? Well, y'all, please come free to come look at our costumes. I just ask that you not touch this one. It's paper mache, and I had to swear on my blood and life that this would not get broken. So I would love for y'all to come up and look at the, oh, yes, I'm
Can you
sorry.
turn around or walk up and down so that we can see the design in yours?
Oh, sure. There's a lot going on. It accentuates areas that I do not like to be. And normally, this also has a little umbrella with ruffles on it. And, you know, in the song, we try to be coy and, you know, but it's a fun outfit. But, I mean, I'm already getting hot in it. So, I mean, it's warm and it's just cotton. So I can't imagine these two outfits.
Will you be performing in it this year?
Yes, I will be. Yes.
And your mom?
I don't know. She lives in Fort Worth,
Oh.
so, but she drove out last year, because yes, last year was our 75th anniversary, so this year's, we're hoping we're gonna make it even bigger year this year, because it's our 76th, so I think it's very cool. 3/4 of a century. Woo! Yes, ma'am.
What's the story about the snake puppet? That's so cute.
Oh, okay. Well, what would you like to know? Well, you know, we don't have a trained rattlesnake. It's supposed to be a rattlesnake, you know, and it's just one of,
That's cute.
it's a crowd pleaser. It used to be, we used to only ever do it every couple of years, but it's such a crowd pleaser. We've been doing it every year. So it's just fun. It's hard to explain, you know, it's hard to get a snake to do this and, you know, and not go. So it's fun. I mean, yes, sir.
Dollar and cent, why, what does that put into the Albany economy every year, you know, hundreds of thousands? It should.
Well, I would hope so. We have a hotel motel tax board, and they always donate money to us, because the way that works is, you know, if you put heads in beds, that generates money, and so they always give us a donation because we bring heads, we put heads in beds. So yes, it brings a lot, and you know, and our merchants do really well, and we have lots of very Fandangle specific merchandise for a lot of people, and the Fandangle we're actually working on souvenirs for this year that almost look like they kind of look like a movie poster from like the 50s. So that's what we're working on this year. So, because we haven't done souvenirs in quite a while, so we're really putting an effort this year. So
When was Fort Griffin closed? Do you have any idea? Was it Calvary when it was closed, or
it was Calvary. Do you remember, Mom?
I think it was 65.
65?
We do it in the show. We have them closing. We have them closing it because, you know, one of the reasons that Fort Griffin closed was, well, the Indians have been moved on,
Yeah.
but the train came in, and thank goodness they chose Albany, because, you know, I mean, Albany wasn't much of anything, and then the train came in, and that just sealed the deal. It sealed the deal for Fort Griffin to go away, and Griffin Flats, which was, you know, a lot of people get confused by our show is Fort Griffin. The second half we have like a saloon scene and like this whole street scene. Well, there's Fort Griffin, and then there's Griffin Flats, which was the little like town below the fort, and a lot of the show is in the town, because you can't have all that hanky-panky
sits on
stuff
the-
in the, yeah, you can't have all that hanky-panky
It
stuff.
sits on the east side of the highway.
Yes, and it's beautiful. It's actually owned,
It's on
the
a ranch.
Griffin Flats is actually owned privately, but they do not mind if you come in, and because they've slowly been re-erecting a lot of the buildings. They just added another one this past year.
Sure.
So, yes. And we also have a very active, and I'm on the board, we have a very active board that we're raising money to keep adding to the fort, to the way it used to be. So,
There's a neat historical marker that you were talking about, the picket house and the.
yes, oh, Albany's
the-
full
the
of
Geor-
them.
The Georgia Monument. is something
Yes.
I wanna read.
If y'all ever come to Fort Worth, I mean, I hope y'all come for the Fandangle, but if y'all ever come to Fort Worth, you need to stop at our, what?
Already not
Oh,
Fort Worth.
I'm sorry, I'm from Fort Worth, and it just comes out of my mouth sometimes. If y'all ever come to Albany, y'all gotta stop at our bank park. It's, a rock fountain, it's really tall, and it's a monument to the Georgia trooper. The Georgia sent people here to help us fight, and we never thanked them. And this is their way of thinking. And it tells a whole little story. It's really cool. I mean, they gave their life for us.
It's based on a town,
Civil War.
Albany, Georgia.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Albany is
Civil
named
War.
after the Albany of Georgia. So,
From the supported the Civil War?
No, during the Alamo,
during the Alabama.
Oh, Alamo.
independence, Texas independence.
Mhm. And I don't know if there's 13 Albanys in the United States, but the one that everyone thinks I'm from, when I say Albany, they think it's New York.
Albany is the
No.
mirror in Georgia of what Abilene is, same size.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Say it again, what'd you say?
Albany, Georgia, is in southwest Georgia on the Flint River. It's a river town.
But like I said, I'd love for y'all to come up and look at any of these things if y'all would like to, or if there's any other questions, yes, sir.
This is a little off the subject,
That's okay.
but they have a car show every year.
Yes, it's gonna be the same day as the sampler, the 19th.
On the 19th,
Yes.
same day.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be in the morning and we're at
Yeah,
night.
last
So they're
year,
opening and we're closing.
I happened to be on a trip when we stopped at the Art Center.
Oh,
I
huh?
found out it was the next day, so, I had to come up to that, but I would have missed it that.
Well, and we have an amazing car museum that was opened last
Outstanding.
year by several locals. We have, with this car show that we have every year, the Albany people got banned from it. It's in our own town, but we're allowed to show, but we can't win anything because we have so many locals that love to restore cars and we kept winning. So now we just show, but we're not allowed to win because we have, I mean, I know of one gentleman who has 30 cars he's restored and he shows them. And he's also one of the people that's involved with our amazing little car museum. So
Wow.
y'all should come for that. I mean, there's lots to do in
That's the
Albany.
19th of April.
Yes, the 19th of April. It'll be that morning. It starts at like 7 or 8 in the morning and goes till about 3. The awards are about 2 or 3. So,
Who's the artist?
I'm not, yeah.
Little thing on the side over there.
That's a hashtag.
It says Samuel Smith is what it
He
says.
was a commissioned artist for Stars and Stripes.
Commission orders.
You got paid for it.
Yes, ma'am.
How is the Indian costume?
It's actually not that old. I think it's only about 15 years old. Compared to some of the other ones, that's not old at all. So, and this one right here is very new too. Because a lot of the other, when I was a teenager, my dress was not that bright. So, we did a little more muted color, so.
What, have you been in any national magazines or anything like that?
Oh, yes. We were in Texas Monthly. We've been in Southern Living did a huge article on us last year, and so did Texas Monthly. And Texas Monthly just ran it again. And they do this little thing called Texas Bound, and it was in the Texas Monthly and in the Family Circle. It's just this little, it was really cool. I mean, we were so excited. And let's see, I'll tell you, we have done samplers at the Lyndon B. Johnson Ranch. We did it for Lyndon B. Johnson in the 50s, because my mother, 60s, I'm sorry, excuse me. My mother was in that one. And we've been there I believe we've been there 3 times. And we've been to Washington to do a little mini sampler in Washington, D.C. We've also been to London and done a sampler. Now that one probably, there was only a few people who went to that one. But we like to do samplers because, I mean, it's a good way to give people an idea of what we're about. And we are the oldest outdoor musical in Texas. And we're the 2nd oldest in the nation. The oldest one, I believe, is in Missouri. So, it's very cool. Lots of history. Yes, sir. Did you, I'm sorry, I thought you had a question.
Are you the only ones that have the kaleidoscope?
The Calliope?
Calliope, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I believe so. You know, most people that have Calliopes are circuses. So, and ours has been around for ever. And I mean, you know, the woman who has played it for quite a while was our musical director. She has just stepped down, but she's still going to keep playing her Calliope because she's the only one that knows how to play it. Because, I mean, you know, you look at it and there are all these little strings and you're like, you know, and I mean, I think she loses 10 pounds every day when she plays that sucker. Because, I mean, you know, the steam for it's huge. One year, we did the Calliope at the Fort Worth Stock Show Rodeo, or their parade, and they let some steam off, and it melted the asphalt underneath it. I mean, that's how much steam is. Yeah, that's why it gets inspected, because, I mean, a sucker can put off some pressure and steam. So, but it's very cool. So, y'all have any other questions? Well, I really appreciate y'all for coming, and thank you for letting me blabber on, because I kind of... Like I said, y'all please come up here and look. I don't mind y'all coming up here at all. Or if you have any questions you want to come ask me, please feel free.
I don't